Hello everyone! In this video we're going to be renovating this Mexican plaza that I built a while ago, and we're going to be using the new stuff from Lovestruck, which is of course inspired by Mexico City and other towns, and I really want to sort of update this because even if I'm really proud of how it looks and the gazebo and the alleyways and stuff, I really want to be able to have this be the best version that it can be. So first I'm going to tour half of it, and then we're going to be renovating that, and then in a second video we're going to be renovating and touring the other half because it's quite a big lot and I think that it would probably be too long if I did everything in one single video. So I originally had this placed in Evergreen Harbor, which was the closest that I could get to Mexico, which sounds a bit weird, but that's because I don't have my wedding stories, so I didn't have access to Tortosa, which is a lot more like Mexico than Evergreen Harbor is. And of course Mexico City doesn't have any kind of harbor. But anyway, I had it placed originally where we have that community space, and so I actually have it as a community space, and that's why we have this sign here, so that you could vote for whatever kind of space you would want it to be. And I added stuff for all kinds of spaces. For example, here we have some planters so that it could be a garden, and there's also creative stuff if you would want it to be used. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like an art center. And I also have a market space, which is also pretty accurate to Mexican towns. And I was mainly inspired by cities like San Miguel and Guanajuato. So first we're going to be taking a look at this house. I was thinking that this was for an elderly couple, and I was thinking they were retired and they were into knitting. Probably one of them was into knitting before retirement, and once they had retired, that sim had taught the other how to knit. So I was thinking that it was probably something that they enjoyed doing together, and they also really love plants, and they have a cat. So this is a living room. We have a TV area, we have some storage, lots of knitting supplies, and we have this office nook. So here we have some more knitting stuff and some books, and we can also see that there's some cat stuff. There's the entryway with more plants and some pictures. There's a basement painting and one that you can paint. I don't really know what kind of picture this one is, but both of these pictures look like something that I would find at my grandma's house, so that's why I decided to include them. And here's some more storage, laundry, more plants. There's a cookbook, and we have some more stuff like aprons, fruit bowl. This is also a painting that your Sims can paint on their own, and I made some sort of custom frame for it. I actually have a short explaining how I did that, and you can also see that in the speed build of this lot. I'll have that linked down in the description, and you can see that somebody cooked a white cake in here because I had it as a community space, so Sims would come here and cook, as they do. But going upstairs, we have the bathroom. It's kind of a lofted space. There's a rocking chair, a mirror, and some dressers. Everything is very nice in here. There's a balcony with 2 chairs. I don't think that these are accessible by Sims, but they look nice. And here's a bathroom just through this door. There's a kitty litter box as well, and some normal bathroom clutter. You can see that I have a bit of an interesting rooftop in here because this is pretty usual for Mexico, and it's also very common for rooftops to be red here. You can also see that there's more plants in here. There's some ivy. I'm going to make sure to fix this window situation. And now we're going to move on into this cafe, which is pretty charming, and I was also inspired by a cafe that I saw in Guanajuato for this one. You can see that I did something of a custom border for the door. I'm using these stones from Jungle Adventure, and this is overall a pretty traditional space. I also made some kind of like curved architectural detail in here, and I did like a very small touch-up with this space. I painted it pink using the stucco from For Rent, I think, because we didn't actually have any sort of pink wall paint. We only had some with baseboards, or whatever those are called, and it looked pretty strange with the white lines. So this is the inside of the cafe. I am using some stuff from Jungle Adventure, like the tile and this very beautiful side table. I included this painting with the beach because it felt correct. And I also made like this custom base here. You can see that it's the bases from Jungle Adventure. I have actually both of them, but one of them is kind of hidden. And I was also thinking about using some furniture that I would see at a grandparent's house. I have a little gate so that the coffee bar area would be separate. I made this custom sort of side table because I wanted it to be a bit taller. And I actually had some stuff in here, but it kept deleting itself because of the custom furniture situation. But yeah, we have some more storage. We have like a tray for tips. So pretty normal in here, pretty standard. And through this door we have the bathroom. It's also using some tile from Jungle Adventure. It has pretty high windows. And there's just some cleaning supplies. I like this space, but I think that it could be kind of cuter. I really like the flooring that I'm using, and I also really like the stairs. But the upstairs is where I am not as happy with this space. I do really like these plants that I am using all over the place. I don't love these curtains. I really don't like base game curtains. There's just been a Swatch update, and I think I'm going to probably use several items from that. But yeah, I am using some of the same furniture that I have downstairs, and I really like how I used some of these bar stools to have some plants on them. And I do like this gallery wall, but it's just looking a bit weird. I think I'm probably going to be painting over these walls or something. But moving on into the building next door, we have this hostel situation here, and then there's the alleyway that leads you into the market, but that's going to be on the next video. For now, we're just going to be concentrating in this hostel, which has this very cool rooftop area, which is like a community space for the guests to enjoy. There's a laundry room, there's also a clothesline, and we have most of the bedrooms upstairs. So we're going to be entering through the main door, and I actually really like that there's a plaque in here, as if it were like a historical building. And I do really like this balcony and how the windows are in this alleyway. And first you enter and you have this like waiting area, you have a desk, there's the bathroom, there's another bathroom upstairs, but this is the larger bathroom. Here's a view of the alleyway, and we have some plants because I didn't know what else to do with this little corner, and I will probably fix this, probably add something more interesting in that area. Then we have the kitchen and dining room, and we have this community space right next to one of the bedrooms. So one of the things that I really liked here was this like hanging plant decoration that we have here, and this like custom seating area with some decorations. Also, the foosball table felt pretty accurate for these kinds of spaces. And then there's the door that leads you upstairs. So first we're going to be looking at the kitchen, which I'm noticing that there's a bottle in it and it's kind of dirty. We can fix that easily. And we have a lot of seating and a lot of storage for plates. We also have a fully equipped kitchen. It looks a bit vintage. I really like the stove and the fridge. I added this cabinet on top of it. It's one of the longer versions of cabinets, and it doesn't go all the way up into the ceiling, but I might change that if I think that it's worth it. I don't really know. We have some dried herbs and some other supplies in here, some more storage. I think I will also change that a little bit. I really love this style, and I really love these shelves from Jungle Adventure. So I think I'll probably just change a couple items really. I still really like this sink. I think it's pretty realistic for an older kitchen that isn't fancy, so yeah. So we'll just check out this first bedroom before we take a look at the bathroom and then continue upstairs. I have just a normal bunk bed from the base game and a bed from Jungle Adventure underneath. The bedside table is also from there. The mirror and the dresser are from Eco Lifestyle, and the basket is also from Jungle Adventure. And I added a backpack so that it would look like there was some luggage in there. So now we're going to be taking a look at this bathroom, and first we have this sink area. We have some mirrors, everything is pretty normal. We have 2 toilet stalls in here, and then through this other door we have some showers. They are the privacy showers from Discover University, so Sims don't get embarrassed if they are taking a shower next to another Sim. And here's just some towels and laundry and a laundry basket. Now we're going to be going up these stairs, and we have to turn right in here. It seems like I don't really know what to do with the wallpaper situation because this is next to a pink building. So this is what I ended up doing. I think it only looks weird if you are inside that area. But yeah, this is a terrace we've seen, and through this door we have another white cake, of course, and just normal laundry room stuff. I don't really know how that white cake preparation board got in there. This isn't close to a fridge or anything. But we have a very small TV room in here with a ceiling fan, of course. We have another bathroom. It's a very simple bathroom. We just have a sink, mirror, toilet. I forgot toilet paper and the towel, so we'll add that. And here we have one of the bathrooms. It's 4 bunk beds, a mirror, some lockers. And through this door we have the balcony. This was inspired by a very famous balcony in an alleyway in Guanajuato. It even has a legend. It's pretty touristic, so I thought I might add something similar to that. Here we have one of the other bedrooms. It's pretty small. We have a mirror, we have a bunk bed and a double bed. I don't really know where else you would have this distribution, but it's great for saving space and it works for this kind of build. Here we have some other bunk beds. We have some of the ones from Discover University. And we have Dream Home Decorator bunks on top of them. The wood tones match pretty well. And we have some more luggage. I also think that I will be updating that to include some of the trunks from Growing Together. This is what the back looks like. We have that marketplace area, which I will tour on the next video. And here we have a coffee cart. You can order some coffee in here if you would rather not go into the normal coffee shop. And we have an urn for some reason, which can't be deleted. So now we're going to be relocating this lot to Ciudad Enamorada, and we'll start with the actual renovation. So the first thing I did was that I have it here on this lot in Ciudad Enamorada. This is called Calle del Ensueño, I think, and this is in an area that really reminds me of certain parts of Mexico City that are more traditional, but they are definitely in the city, so they are next to actual buildings. And first we're going to be making sure to make this sort of connect to the rest of this area, because it looks a bit weird with how the lot doesn't actually come all the way to the street, which I think is very weird. I think none of these lots actually do that, which I wish at least a few of them did, so that we could have this sort of plaza area. So I think that's a bit of a shame. So what I did was that I grabbed this bridge from Discovery University, I think, and I sized it down so that it would fit and actually reach the street, which I think it looks a bit strange. And I actually added it to the back of this space so that it would connect to this sort of gated garden area that we have next to this space. And I also decided to have this fence from Jungle Adventure all the way around this, so that we could actually have it fenced in, and it didn't look like the stone just stopped because of how this flooring works. It would have looked very strange. And I also decided to use these. They're in the rock category and they are like stone slabs from Get Together, so I just added those so that there would be a pathway leading onto that. And I didn't actually add the bridge there, I added it on a different area next to this garden. And I also made sure to have water towers in all of these buildings because that's a very normal thing for Mexican places to have. We also have like underground water storage often, but these water tanks are a thing that you would always find. So I decided to have two on the hostel so that it would be more realistic for there to have people taking showers and also doing laundry, since I think there's space for maybe about 7 guests. I don't really know. But first we're going to be working on this house, I think. And I actually forgot to add a number plate to the house, which I really wanted to do. That's one of the things that I was happiest that we have in this pack. And I am a bit sad that I forgot about it, but at the same time I think that I can't possibly remember every single item that I wanted to have from Lovestruck, since it's new and I was also recording this at night, so I was getting a bit tired by the end of it. And I but I did want to add many of these plants because they all feel very accurate to me. So for example, that larger plant, I really like the size of that plant, and the actual pot that it is on is one that I have seen so many times. And the smaller plant that I added into the table is also exactly that vibe. And I also wanted to have these beautiful little like clay pots and the birds, which just feels so realistic. It's an item that I wouldn't have at home, but that I like that we have it here so that I can add it into my Sims homes. And I have seen houses with these kinds of items, so I thought that was pretty relatable, and that's what I wanted from this build, really. I just wanted it to feel like a space that I might have visited, or that I just know could exist somewhere relatively near me. But now we're working upstairs. We're just changing this bedside table situation a little bit. I changed that lamp because this lamp from For Rent, I think that when I built this, I didn't have For Rent. So that lamp felt the kind of correct thing to have, but I didn't have it until now that I'm going back to actually fixing this, because I did build this like a year ago. And if I ever repeat myself during this part of it, it's because I did the tour on a different day and I don't really remember exactly what I said. But yeah, I'll try to only add new information, but I don't remember. Anyway, this is the bathroom. We're just going to adjust a few things and change the bath mat. I really like this one. It looks like the kind of thing that I would see at an older person's home, and so I really wanted to add it in here. And I think that then I added some planter boxes into this area, which I think fit really nicely. These are the new ones from Lovestruck. And one thing that I forgot to change was the columns on the front of the house, those like lighter wood columns. I actually eliminated all of those. I don't really remember why I had them in there in the first place. I think they're very weird. I didn't do that on camera, but you can see that in the screenshots those columns aren't there. But apparently we're going to be moving on into this cafe now, and I thought about changing this like metal railing here, and none of them convinced me. I tried using some of the new ones and some from other packs even, and I just wasn't happy with it. So what I actually did was that I changed the door, and this door I think matches a lot better with the vibe of this building, and the interior is going to be such a different interior once I'm done with this, because it was kind of inspired by a cafe that I visited in Guanajuato, and it was sort of meant to be a French cafe, so it's going to be like a very strange blend of styles. So it still feels accurate to the touristic experience of being Guanajuato somehow. But I did use this new wallpaper from Lovestruck, so it's not entirely out of context, I think. And I also used the new tile here in the bathroom. I also changed the floor tiles in here to be the ones from For Rent with the very cool like patterns that sort of match the top of these walls, that tile that we have next to the ceiling. And also this sink is from For Rent. So I really think that For Rent matches pretty well with here. But anyway, I think this was an improvement on this bathroom. I think it fits this new aesthetic for this place better. And I also changed the door to be one from Strangerville so that it would match the front door, and they actually really match well with this wallpaper. And so I decided to add the signage using these base game little signs that we have, which I think are very cool. They're very useful for community lots. Um, and I also decided to change the tables. At first I was kind of going for that like Mexican grandma style that I was going for originally, and then it becomes a bit more like a bistro, which again it's not an unrealistic thing to find in here. But for a while I did leave those chairs, and then I worked on this coffee bar area. I think that this works a lot better than what I had originally, and I think that also sizing up this menu works better for this space. I like that there's some pink accents on it. It's not just like brown, white, and black. And I also decided to have a grandfather clock, which I think was very cute. And now we're going to be changing all of these tables. I also added the new plant from Lovestruck, and also these chairs were the ones that I ended up going for. I also changed the chairs that we have up front to be similar to these ones. I think that I actually kept these chairs but in pink in the front of this cafe. But I also decided to change some of these wood tones and the colors of these appliances. I changed the fridge, which I think was a big improvement. I do really like that base game fridge, but I think that using this very colorful wallpaper, that having this fridge be a bit more in keeping with that and in a lighter color actually helped. But now we're going to be changing that sitting area that we have in the front, and I did actually also use the table, and the clutter is from Cozy Bistro as well. And it looks like I didn't change the swatches. I think that I left them in this like very light beige or a white. But upstairs we actually did keep these cute chairs that I really like, and they kind of remind me of my grandmother, so I felt that they were the right thing to keep. And I changed the gallery wall. I think that it looks a lot better with these paintings from Lovestruck, and I ended up actually sort of layering them together so that one of those paintings is intersecting the one that is underneath it. I didn't see any glitching from that. I was very relieved about that, and I just rearranged some of the paintings that I actually decided to keep. I also changed the curtains to be the beaded curtains from Lovestruck, and the wallpaper is also from that pack. I think that this is a very charming thing. It's a very charming space. I really like the vines and the plants, and I was also channeling my grandmother with the plants. She's very into plants. And I changed the sitting area completely. I think that this looks a lot better. It's still colorful, but in a different way. And I also liked that the coffee table has some more plants. Oh, and I also didn't record it because I sort of forgot about it, but I did paint the ceiling with the ceiling tile that also came with Lovestruck that matches this wallpaper, so it looks like the vines are sort of going all around this room, and they also cross through the ceiling. And I think that I didn't change too many things about this room, but the things that I did change actually make such a difference. I really love the sitting area that we have next to this bookcase. I think that it looks really cute. I did add a few more plants, and I actually used this vase from Lovestruck, which I don't think I had used before. It kind of has some weird lighting at times, so yeah. Sometimes I think about using it and then I place it down and it just looks completely off, so I I always end up changing it for a different plant. But anyway, I think that we're now going to be moving on to the hostel, and I decided to change the bar stools in there for some from Lovestruck, and also these chairs are from there. These chairs are the kind of thing that I normally think would go outside, although I've seen that in the pack and in one of the trailers. I think that these were inside, which is interesting. I think that people probably do use them inside, but it just seems a bit odd to me. I also decided to repaint the walls on the laundry room so that they looked a bit more worn, and that's also a wallpaper from Lovestruck. And I changed the things that I said I would change about this bathroom. I did add some stuff so that it would be complete, and I tried not to add too many things to this build because it was a bit hard for me to load it when I was trying to place it down here. And speaking of the gallery, it's going to be up there once I'm done with this, and I also grabbed some luggage from there. These ones were rotated using tools, so they look like probably a better way of having your luggage if you were staying at a hotel. So I took that item off from the room next to this one, and I decided to actually replace it with some of the trunks from Lovestruck and from Growing Together. And I think that I didn't mention it, but the mural that I have there is one single piece. It's not like two separate ones. I'm just using this very big one that thankfully has no lighting glitches when you do this, and I think that it looks great, although I did forget to add some windows into some of those rooms. There's only like a balcony on one of them, and that one does have some natural lighting. I think I'm going to fix that as the first thing that I change when I do the second part of this video. This first part ended up being much longer than I was expecting, which I don't think is so terrible, but yeah, part of me wishes I had done this as 3 videos instead of just 2, which is what I had done originally, so that you could really see each of these buildings in detail. And by the way, I'm also going to have that link down in the description in case you want to watch the full speed build of this, which, I mean, I'm still really proud of this one. So I think that I have improved a lot as a builder in the year that I have been posting videos, but I think that some of my older builds are still pretty great. I think that this one is. Although, for example, this kitchen, I think that this like storage situation here looks a lot better than what I had originally. Those are also from For Rent, so I wasn't expecting to add so many things from that pack, but I think that it makes sense since when I built this I didn't have that many. Well, I had a few expansions and kits and everything, but some of the items that felt like correct to me I didn't have yet. But I think that the modifications that I did to the kitchen were really small. For example, I added the tortilla warmer, which felt perfect, and I did rearrange some of this stuff and everything, but that tile still feels like the best tile that I could have used. Although I'm sure that I'm going to use the new tile somewhere in this build. I still don't know where, but I know that I will because I love it so much. I also decided to change some of the bathroom a bit so that it didn't have such high walls and it looked a bit more like a public bathroom and not just like a series of tiny rooms. It looked a bit like a labyrinth to me. But this is what I was saying that I did with this bridge, because this sidewalk sort of just interrupted, it just got cut off, which I think is also very strange, and that's how I fixed it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you will stick around to watch part 2 of this build and that you like this video. I'm planning so many things for that other part and for other builds. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. you.